School uniforms. Some countries have them, other countries don't. And by don't, I mean it's not required. Sure, some private schools have uniforms in America, but in China, it is like 99% universal that every school has a uniform. Growing up, going to school, I never had a uniform, and I always wanted one because the rich students would always wear their fancy clothes, and I would come to school with like a t-shirt and jeans. And I felt like it was not fair that students should be equal as much as possible. So when I came to China, I was exposed to the concept of school uniforms firsthand for the first time. And I truly believe that China has the best school uniforms, and also their approach to school uniforms is very, I think it's right. They have the right approach to school uniforms. So, with that said, here are the 5 reasons why China has the best school uniforms. Number one, the uniforms are practical and affordable. In almost every case, a Chinese school uniform will be sweatpants, a school uniform t-shirt, and a jacket, like a tracksuit. And it will always have the school name on it. So you know exactly what school that student goes to. If that student ever gets lost, someone can help them find their way, or the students also know, hey, I belong to this group of students, so I should, if I'm walking home or if I'm taking the bus, we will stick together. And that way, police officers and safety people know where we're from. And they're affordable. I think when I was teaching at the high school, it was 150 yuan for your winter jacket, your sweatpants, your t-shirt, well, your t-shirt with the collar, and your school jacket. And if you couldn't afford it, someone would be able to pay for it. If this was America, people would be like, I can't spend $50 going to Walmart to buy clothes. And if they couldn't afford it, they'd have such a hard time, getting uniforms. The principal would have to beg parents to go out and buy uniforms and donate it to the school. And you'd have to go to like a school donation thing to get uniforms. And that's from personal experience because I used to work at a middle school that had a uniform policy. But all it was wear a green shirt and a khaki skirt or khaki pants. It didn't have the school name on it. So America needs to work on getting school uniforms to people who can't afford them for schools that do school uniforms. And the second reason is these uniforms are gender neutral. And there's nothing inherently wrong with, transgender students. They come to school, but if there's a uniform, it's almost always, hey, I want to wear the girls' uniform or I want to wear the boys' uniform. With the Chinese school uniforms, this instantly solves the problem because the uniforms are the same. You won't have to open that dispute. And I can see how, like in America or any in the West, that it's a problem. Or even in countries like Thailand, um, what uniform does the student want to wear is now a hot issue. So China has solved that problem by making boys and girls wear the same thing. And the third reason is it creates unity in the student population. And in my school, the only difference were the colors. So grade 3 had a color, grade 2 had a color, grade 1 had a color. And you'd get that color in grade 1 and you'd carry it through grade 3. So you would know who is who, but every uniform had the school name. It was the same thing. And I think that creates a more family atmosphere. Like, hey, we're in the same school, we're in this together, we're going to study hard, and we're going to work hard. Without the unity, you've got like the goths and the geeks and the jocks and the nerds, and they're all wearing different things. So it definitely, without the uniform, it opens the door to create little cliques in the school. And the last two reasons are kind of just offshoot reasons. They're warm in winter. I've seen a lot of complaints on the internet from students who's either gone to Japan to be a foreign exchange students or Japanese students. They say, man, in the winter we have to wear skirts, and sometimes they're not allowed to wear tights. The boys' uniforms, maybe they're a little warmer, but definitely for the girls, they complain about being cold. And also the same goes in South Korea. Some schools don't let the students wear tights, and if it's winter and cold, how are you supposed to stay warm? Well, in China, you got your jacket and you have a winter set of sweatpants, which can be really warm, and some of them have like lines in them like fur inside the pants, so you're guaranteed to be warm. And then the school issues a winter jacket, so you can wear that in the school to stay warm. And I think it's very important for studying. If you're not comfortable and you're cold, you're not going to study well. And that's just a fact. So the fact that they're warm in winter, kudos to China. They got it figured out. And the fifth reason is it helps students stay focused on school and not finding a cute boy or cute girl. Now, I'm not saying that people don't make relationships and that the Chinese students never find a boyfriend or girlfriend, but Japan has a big problem with like fetishizing school uniforms. I think like if you go to Tokyo and you go down some of those streets, you'd see that the school uniform itself is fetishized for older people. China doesn't have this problem. The school uniform itself it's looked at as like a student wears the school uniform and they know they need to study and they need to learn to be a good member of society. And it's part of the culture and it makes it a little easier for students to hold off on relationships. Not saying they don't happen, but China is the only school uniform I know that like everything is covered and then like from head to toe. So, like Thailand, they'll wear skirts. Korea, Japan, we all know those uniforms. So, I think there is an element in the Chinese school uniforms where they don't want people getting into relationships, they want people studying, and the uniforms help that because sometimes girls think they're ugly and they'll just study. So, these are the five reasons. And like a bonus reason is it's just the culture. You go to school, you wear a uniform. People will know to pay attention to their appearance, keep their uniform nice, and this will transition into their work life. If they have a work uniform or work clothes, they'll keep those nice. Whereas me, it took me forever to keep my clothes nice. I still have a problem with that. But now I've got like a set of clothes that I'm going to wear to work and non-work clothes, and I want to keep them nice. So I know this was kind of an all-around video, but I really think China has their school uniforms figured out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Grandopolis, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.